finishing up the school year, so now I'm looking for my summer thing to do, and so I'm thinking let's talk about how I'm going to get ready for NAIC. As of right now, I have 4 different teams that I'm thinking about bringing to NAIC in 3 weeks. So I'm going to talk about what they are, what the goals are, what I'm thinking, and then I'm going to go from there, see what's happening. I'll give a little bit more detailed of a timeline in a little bit. But for now, let's I'm going to start off with quick little detail about what the goal is for each team, and then I'll go into a more in-depth thing a little bit later on. So as of right now, this is the team that I took to Fort Wayne and didn't do the greatest with. I went 3-6, and it was my second regional for VGC. I did one regional for out in Baltimore for TCG. Played some Timber Cleave. I went 0-3 and then dropped. It was not the greatest. I had a lot of fun though and everybody that I played was like, "You're doing the Timber Cleave. That's awesome." So that was great. But I did not hit enough heads if you play the TCG at all. Anywho, so first team I've got is my Fort Wayne team. This team is Parish Trap. I really wanted to lean into the bulk of Tinglu and Wo-Chien, lowering attacking stats. Garganackle just stays on because he's a freaking beast of a Pokemon. Absolutely love Garganackle. And then Palafin was a late game if I needed to take some KOs, but it just wasn't hitting hard enough, I should say. So, yep, that's option number one. Quick view of option number one. Option number two is something that I picked up from, or thought about, made some tweaks from a different team that I saw on Pokesports. I made a couple changes. I liked the core idea of it, um, but honestly, I don't like Sandy Shocks. So the quick idea of what this does is Murkrow with Sunny Day, Tailwind, just enables all of the team. It powers up Chi-Yu with Sunny Day, or everything gets a Sunny Day boost except for Iron Bundle, who just doesn't need it. That's the real goal, is get Tailwind, get Sunny Day up, and then just go to town with everybody else. Because nobody really anticipates Slitherwing, so when you see Slitherwing Terra Bug first impression is great, and I haven't been seeing that much psychic terrain from when I've been testing, so that's why I like that. So yeah, goals, Sunny Day, power everything up, then go with some Slitherwing chaos. And then option 3, I just haven't been feeling the King Gambit. I see the value in King Gambit, but I knew I needed a steel type, so this is my third option. Quick preview is the same idea. Sunny Day powers up Fluttermane, Chi-Yu, and that's pretty much it because I went with Terra Water on Scizor instead of Terra Fire. But Sunny Day powers up those two. Tailwind speeds everything up because Slitherwing and Scizor are just not the speediest. And it also gets Chi-Yu up to a reasonable amount. And then, yeah, so same idea as option number 2, but Sunny Day, Tailwind is just what I'm feeling. Then option 4, I was just watching the semi-finals and the top 8 from where are we at? There's a regional happening literally right now. Championships just wrapped up. But I liked one of the teams from the top 8 that I saw that had the Maushold Annihilate core still. So, and a really bulky Golden Go. I did not realize until watching this how bulky Golden Go can be when it's right next to the friend guard. So I like Mousehold with that, Mousehold with Annihilate works, and all of those. So that's the quick recap. For those of you that are more interested, let's go back through these. So going back to option one, what I really wanted to do with this team was obviously set up Perish Trap. So my lead typically was Palafin Gothitelle, so I could fake out flip turn, so I could go 0 to hero and have the hero form for the late game. So fake out, flip turn, and then I would bring in Screen Tail. No, I said that wrong. I would start Screen Tail Palafin, so I could get the Scream Tail, Perish Song, and Palafin flip turn. The Screen Tail would move before the Palafin, so the Gothitelle would come in without being Perish Songed. Try to make it as bulky as possible, and then I could fake out Stealth Rocks so I could get a little bit of chip for the late game because I know Wo-Chien and Ting-Lu weren't doing that much damage. Once I got to that point, my plan was to have one of the three of these bigger boys in the back. The Wo-Chien, as much as I love it, and it's starting to come around with the Leech Seed Chaos now, it did not take enough hits. It was not able to really be as bulky as I thought it would be. Garganacl did its job. It did its job. Like, it really did a great job at what it did, but it couldn't stand up to Fluttermanes and Chi-Yus. It just didn't have enough special defense to really do anything. The Ting-Lu, this Fort Wayne was the regional where Ting-Lu did all of the things and nobody saw it coming and just took off because everybody was running Fissure and having the time of their lives. I didn't even think of Fissure, not gonna lie. I wish I had, because I think that would have helped it do more. But again, Ting-Lu just wasn't dying, so when I was building the team, I'm like, well, if I use Sand Tomb, that accomplishes the same thing as Shadow Tag. So I could trap with the Screen Tail. If I led Screen Tail Ting-Lu, I could Perish Song, Sand Tomb, and go about things that way. And at least trap like one thing. And ideally that one thing would have been like the Ghost, the Fluttermane that was coming around. What made that a bad idea was because I had Heavy Slam that also O-code Fluttermanes. So that, yeah, it just wasn't as well thought out as I was planning. So there definitely could be a lot of adjustments if I go with this team. I know a lot more now, so I would probably have to scrap the Wo-Chien, or see if there's a better EV spread for it now. But yeah, so that's option number one. Option number two, I have had a lot of success with so far. This has been the only team that I've tested lately seriously. So I've probably put like 50 games in with this team so far. And I'm probably going about 50-50. So I'm not going positive, which is a little frustrating, but I've already made a couple tweaks that I want to test out some more, because like obviously Psychic Terrain, when I do go up against it, it shuts down Slitherwing pretty hard, because First Impression is just huge damage. So yeah, Ice Spinner is a new tech that I put onto Iron Bundle because of it. With this team specifically, I hadn't been using Freeze Dry all that much because Iron Bundle isn't my attacker. It's more of a supporter. So I was like, if I'm not using Freeze Dry, I might as well scratch it and throw Ice Spinner on. So no attack investment whatsoever, but Iron Bundle's really not trying to do damage. It's just trying to enable the Slitherwing. Uh, then Murkrow. Murkrow has been a MVP. Sunny Day Tailwind really has been doing great things. Ooh, excuse me. I also still didn't really like that. I like the Terrifier on the King Gambit. But I also wanted water type coverage, so going Terra Water. I don't know. Gonna test it out, see what happens. Chi Yu, I have just gotten into so many end games where Dark Pulse wasn't doing enough. But I already Terra'd Chi Yu to avoid having to hit a Moongus. What? So like the end game is I don't have enough heavy hitters. I can hit heavy enough to break attacking Pokemon, but like a Moongus, Garganacl were just wrecking me. So the idea with the Chi Yu is to get to an end game where I've taken care of everything else, and then it's like an Amoonguss Garganacl end game, and Terra Blast can take care of the Garganacl or whatever it is, and Heatwave or Tinglu, for example, because they're both like they just live, and I can't do anything about it. But with the Terra Grass, I can hopefully hit them for super effective because Dark Pulse just wasn't cutting it. And then Fluttermane, I did something with the Fluttermane. I threw Thunderbolt on there. I forgot what I got rid of. The Slitherwing is exactly the same. I might need to swap into a defensive Terra like Steel, because I don't like the. I was having trouble with Dragonites too with Slitherwing, so that's on my mind. Option number 3 is really, really, really similar to option 2. It really just is. So Fluttermane exact same, Chi-Yu exact same, Slitherwing exact same, Iron Bundle is the exact same, Murkrow is the exact same. The big difference between the two is the Steel type, King Gambit into Scizor. Why did I pick Scizor? Because he's my favorite Pokemon. He's right over this shoulder. This card. Got that oversized Scizor EX card. Back when it would evolve into the Mega Scizor EX. Lots of fun. Bullet Punch can still do crazy amounts to Fluttermanes that are all over the place. Terra type Water to get after the Chi-Yus because Fluttermane Chi-Yu is just so prevalent right now. The thing that scares me with it is I don't have a way of keeping it from getting burned. I like the Assault Vest because it's defensive enough already, so it doesn't need that much, but the special defense, getting the boost from the Assault Vest, and the Assault Vest gives me a boost, and it still lets me change attacks, so I don't want to go Choice Band. I know Choice Band would be great, but I like the utility of not being locked into a move, especially when I can boost my speed with Trailblaze and get some big pounces off. And if I have to Terra Scizor, I can try Terra. So if we think about the Pokemon using Will-O-Wisp right now, it's like Arcanine and Talonflame, which if I can get a Trailblaze off or the Tailwind set up before and anticipate when those Will-O-Wisps are coming, I can Terra Water, Terra Blast for huge damage into them and then hopefully chip away at them afterwards is the idea. So big issue is definitely going to be that Arcanine with Intimidate though. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I've been thinking about swapping the Chi-Yu to Terra Water, but again, once I decide which team I'm going to use, I will then figure out fine-tuning. The last one, I just love Murkrow. I think it's really, really, really great right now. Um, this one doesn't need the sunny day unless it really just wants to go all in. And empower a Fire Punch from Terrafire Annihilate, maybe. Hope for that lucky burn or make Fluttermane do crazy damage. I don't know. I swapped out Shadow Ball for Hex because Thunder Wave. I'm thinking here's what I'm thinking. Mousehold, Friend Guard, fantastic. So if I could protect, I could lead Murkrow Mousehold and make Mousehold an offensive threat with Population Bomb because Population Bomb just does a surprisingly hefty amount. Uh, but Friend Guard also keeps Murkrow alive, so I can start Thunder Waving stuff. And if I'm just chipping with Mousehold and paralyzing things with Murkrow, then Hex can do a lot of late game shenanigans. And then Thunderwave with Disable could do some more stuff. So even if Screamtail loses the booster energy, the Thunderwave slowing everything down could really help. I don't think I would do the beat up strategy with Annihilate all that much. I just don't think it's needed because if you're empowering your Annihilate and just drain punching everything to heal up, then you're gonna be in a pretty good spot for Rage Fist's late game. I like Rock Slide with the Tailwind and the Quash on Murkrow. Fake Tears, since there's no Chi-Yu on this team, on Screamtail helps empower the Fluttermane and the Golden Go. And then Dazzling Gleam can do that little bit of chip that we've been seeing it do from the Clef Keys and everything lately, where like Alberto Lara just gets up screens and then just starts Thunder Waving and Dazzling Gleaming for chip damage so everything else can take care of it in the long run. So that's the long story on each of the teams too. If I had to pick as of this moment, I think I'm going with option 4. But I want to do this smart since NAIC is going to be a lot of fun. So here's my timeline that I'm going to post so I can hold myself accountable to it. This week, I'm going to test out these 4 teams and calculate the win percentages, and then I'm going to have a decision on Friday. Then that way, on the 17th and 18th this weekend, I can grind out the Chestnut raid over and over and over and over again to get XP candies and ability patches. Selling the ability patches probably for in-game money. Next week, I'll test out whichever team I pick, and then I want to tally up the moves that I'm using in each battle, which is going to be so much work in nitpickiness. But like I said with this option 2 and the Iron Bundle, I really wasn't clicking Freeze Dry, so I don't want to waste a slot on a move I'm not using. So I'm going to go through, try to do like 5 games a night and just put little tally marks next to moves that I am and am not using. And then I'm going to look for what games I'm losing and why I'm losing against them. So I can refine the spreads or if it's something I need to adjust. That way, that weekend after that, I can write up my team report because one thing that I do is I write really, really lengthy team reports on my stuff. So if I go here, I should have all of my pastes right now. Here it is. So here's my team report from Fort Wayne. I just nerd out like crazy, and I write, how many pages did it end up being? 8 page. no, it was longer than 8 pages. 14-page team report and I run all of the calcs on the meta from Peakalytics. I do like offensive, defensive, and speed calcs. Explain why I do everything that I did. And then general cores. This is what I had the most success with, surprisingly. Was Ting Lu, Palafin, Garganacl, and Wotian. But yeah, so I ended up not even trying to do Perish Trap all that much. And then I didn't know how the open team sheets worked at my first open team sheet regional out in Fort Wayne. So I had this wrapped up at the end. But then, yeah, I look at all of the meta teams, do all that jazz. And yeah, so that's what I will do that weekend. Let's go back to here. And so I'll write that on the 24th, 25th. That is also when school gets out, I believe. Yes, that's when school's done. School ends on the 23rd. And then the 26th through the 28th is when I am going to grind for Terra Shards because that's what takes me the most time. Then on the 29th, I have a faculty meeting for summer school. And then I'll drive out to Columbus. So on the 30th, I can start competing. So if you want to join me on this journey, let's do it. Join up. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be stressful, but it's gonna be fun because we play Pokemon for funsies. But that's what I'm thinking. So that's my first choice as of right now. Second, third, and fourth, because this Parish Trap nonsense team definitely is not working anymore. Especially because like watching how this tournament this regional just went, it's so hyper offensive right now that hopefully Screamtail is bulky enough to survive and do its Screamtail things. But yeah, stay tuned. It looks like I'm already getting some. I have joined my socials. I have a whole bunch that are coming out and starting up because one of my friends volunteered their time ever so lovingly to help run a Twitter for me. So I have a social media manager, I guess, which I'm very glad about, very grateful for. So I'm going to have a Twitter, a TikTok. It'll all be linked probably below in this video. So thanks. Stay tuned, and I'll see y'all later.